Hello, hello, hello to another episode of Beyond the Headlines. If you guys can hear me and you can see me and Linda, let me get a 5x5 in the chat. Real quick like. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I'm glad you're spending your Valentine's Day with me and Linda. Happy Valentine's Day, Linda.
Happy Valentine's Day, Thomas. I had forgotten it was Valentine's Day. Thanks for reminding me.
A lot of people in the chat are
there we go.
A lot of people in the chat are saying so. We're 5x5. So we should be gravy, which is always good to know. We should have good levels on everything, which is great. Guys, today we're going to be talking about the Emerald Tablets. We're going to be talking about the god Thoth. We're going to be talking about the Giza pyramids. It's kind of like a collage of different things that all go together. So it's really interesting, and this stuff gets deep. It gets deep. It gets out there. And let me go over here and pull up everything about the Emerald Tablets and stuff like that. Where do you want to start with, Linda? Do you want to start with the Emerald Tablets, or you lead the way, and then I'll bring it up and follow along with you?
Well, there's so much about the Emerald Tablets, and we were talking a little bit before we got on that, there's a lot out there. I can't believe I didn't know about this, but I guess they've been hiding it. And it all goes back to the Great Pyramid. And I guess the good place to start is the Emerald Tablets. And I'm going to switch over here and read from my computer because let me get into the right thing. Okay, it says the tablets are of green emerald, very resistant to any element, made of an alchemical transmuted substance and with a fixed atomic and cellular structure. They're indestructible, that's the bottom line, but it gets interesting here. On them are engraved characters from the Old Atlantic language, which reacts to the brain. Okay, what this is about is visualization. Okay, it's a I guess a higher dimension thing. Visualization. The idea that you create your surroundings is supposedly that's the higher dimension, and the reason that we have to mature before we move into a higher dimension is because if we're not mature, we'd be creating bombs and stuff like that, like we are now, although I'm not even sure that's us creating the bombs,
sure,
actually. But that's the whole principle spiritually, that in order to ascend, you have to become more peaceful because you then are able to manifest things. And that's what the Emerald Tablets are about. And so it says that the Old Atlantic language reacts to the brain waves emitted by the brain of the reader. So as you're reading it, something about the language, it interacts with you, this tablet. And it says that it releases the associated mental vibration in the mind of the reader. Now, this is supposed to stimulate the pineal gland. And this has everything to do with the pineal gland and what is capable with by stimulating the pineal gland. But let me get over to this part because I think this is fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Thoth. Now, I've heard it pronounced Thoth, but I've heard it pronounced thought, and it's actually Enoch. And so thought, as in thought, it's pronounced thought, but maybe it even is thought. Maybe that is even the
right.
meaning
It's
of
much
the name.
deeper. Right.
But it says here that the capstone of the Great Pyramid, the Giza Pyramid, is, a lot of people believe it's missing because it's not there. But in the Thoth wrote in the tablet, set I a crystal. So there was a crystal set at the apex of the Great Giza Pyramid. And I guess somebody stole it or took it. I don't know what happened to it. But through this crystal, which is at the very top, I guess the energy comes down, and it talks about, it says apex. Set, this is directly from the Emerald Tablets. Mm-hmm. It says apex, and it's speaking as if it's thought. Set I the crystal, sending the ray into the time space, draining the force from out of the ether, concentrating upon the gateway to Amenti. Now, if we go over here, I can read you, I just had that up too. Here it is. Well, it says the halls of Amenti, and the great halls of Amenti. Deep in the earth's heart lie the halls of Amenti, far neath the islands of sunken Atlantis. So Amenti is far below sunken Atlantis. Mm-hmm. It says halls of the dead and halls of the living, bathed in the fire of the infinite all, far in a past time, lost in the space-time, the children of light looked down on the world. So it's like this, it's almost sounds like another dimension or something.
Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like.
After you die or something like that.
Sure. So
that probably is a good, I mean, I don't know what you have about it, but
well, I'm looking at there. I found a website, a literal translation and interpretation of one of the most ancient and secret of the great works of ancient wisdom, translated by Doriel. So, and it has, I'll bring it into view real quick. I want to hit a super chat real quick. Sammy Q Patriot, thank you so much for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Very kind of you. Thank you. Love Vibration Nation. What's up? The 144,000 cells in our brain that are from the original mind of God allow that high-mindedness and manifestation. Great topic. Atlantis was real. Hell yeah, it was real. Yeah. It was real, and it was destroyed because they were so far ahead of their time. Something destroyed that. Whether you want to lean into the subject of maybe it was, who knows, extraterrestrials like reptilians, something like that could have destroyed it. I don't know. But there was definitely a reset button because Atlantis was so far ahead, well beyond us right now. And basically a reset button was hit. This place was sunken underwater, probably by a great flood, or it could have been a comet, who knows, or it could have been an evil group of entities did not want us to continue to progress as humanity even back then. But I can see here that from these tablets, Tablet 1, the history of Thoth. Tablet 2, the halls of Amenti. Tablet 3, the key of wisdom. Tablet 4, the spaceborn. Tablet 5, the dweller of Unal. Tablet 6, the key of magic. Tablet 7, the seven lords. Tablet 8, the key of mysteries. Tablet 9, the key of freedom of space.
Yeah.
Tablet 10, the key of time. Tablet 11, the key to above and below.
And this relates back to as above is
exactly.
below.
Exactly. That's why I paused. Then we have Tablet 12, the law of cause and effect, and the key of prophecy. And Tablet 13, the keys of life and death. And guys, I will drop this in the link, I'll drop the link into the chat if you guys want to check this out. And I I'm sure we'll get into this later into the show. I definitely want to know what the hell this is. But
Well, I was wondering because a lot of it, there's a lot of memes in the mega meme folder that say, and I don't know whether this came from Q or what, but it says POTUS has the key of all keys.
oh, really?
Like that. Yeah. And I wonder if this isn't it because I want to read you this, what it says here, amente. And that's exactly what they are saying this Great Pyramid is. You go down and you lay in this sarcophagus. You go down, and what happens is you have to lay there until you don't talk to yourself anymore. You achieve a certain mental state, and it all involves a pineal gland inside of this sarcophagus. And you travel down a shaft into a subterranean chamber, but I think you travel spiritually from the sarcophagus. And the subterranean chamber is called amente, and it's here, let me read this because this is super interesting. It says amente, the halls of amente is a school stargate and a cosmic energy vortex located in the exact center of the earth on the astral plane. It says, in the halls of amente, you will find a great assortment of ascended masters and energy beings, teaching and tutoring rising ascending masters who have qualified for training in the halls of amente. Amente is also the supreme energy vortex. It says students of amente are taught the ultimate mysteries of time, space, alchemy, and the 9 dimensions. And it says an unascended human could not enter the halls of amente without being destroyed by the much higher vibrational frequency of amente. And I've heard this over and over again from even scientists and people. And I don't know whether we were talking about this last week or whether I just said this in a video, but I was thinking that that's part of, if we're ascending and these other people are not ascending, and we're about to get a great big load of truth, I think that's part of why some of these people may go nuts.
Well, yeah, they're crumbling. They're coming apart. That's a well thought of theory. I like that.
But it says, that the halls of amente, that an unascended human cannot enter the halls of amente without being destroyed by the much higher vibrational frequency of amente. Thus, only the highest ascending humans can enter the halls of amente, and this serves as a perfect self-regulating device. And it says, which is no accident. And it says, and perfect self-regulating devices such as this exist throughout all worlds, time, planes, and dimensions of God's omniverse. That's what it says.
That's so crazy.
But and it says here, alchemy, also known as white magic. Alchemy is the science of manipulating the universal substance, which is the ether.
Right.
To create or dissolve anything in existence. So this sounds like the Vril maidens. Remember we did with the hair and all that? And they are talking about the ether too. And so does Blavatsky and Crowley. That whole crowd, they were really into the ether.
Right.
And when you see sometimes these photographs of psychics, and supposedly they have this ether coming out of their mouth and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's been I thought it was just fake, but then all this talk about ether being real, it makes you wonder. And especially with all these occultists.
Yeah, so they would manipulate the ether. I know there's white magic and there's black magic, and that's, if you think of black magic, you can think of what, Marina Abramovic and these people are dealing with. And there's also good magic. But, whatever Crowley and those guys were dealing with, obviously it was demonic, it was dark magic. I wonder, I've thought about this too, what if these white hats these people, I mean, like in the mystery schools, I'm sure they were taught about white magic and dark magic as well, which is crazy. But, you know.
Well, I think at this point, you know, that everything heavenly and godly is, I think that they call it Mystery Babylon, or it's like it's forbidden knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how it's worded, but it's stuff you're not supposed to be messing with, you know. And it says in the Bible somewhere, and look, wizards and magicians have edited the Bible back in King James. When they edited it, it was Francis Bacon and was there. So they changed it so people, a word here and a word there, kind of like they did the Constitution, because the Bible is coded, but they changed as much as they could to get people arguing about it, you know, and everything. So, but it does say that you are not supposed to communicate with familiar spirits. And I think that means trying to contact the dead, you know, necromancing, all that stuff, which involves the ether.
Right. Yeah. So they would pull from it. Is that what it is?
The DNA travels. It has to do with torsion energy, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not being taught proper energy.
No.
They're not teaching. They're teaching us gravity and stuff, which is not the way that you know the atmosphere is and the way it works. And there's a lot of talk about torsion fields and torsion energy, and that's how the DNA works, and how they do that. You know, in their magic and stuff, they want to try to bring the old ones down and stuff through these torsion fields and this hidden science that they have about the real nature of the universe and stuff they've hidden from us.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to teach us what would benefit us. I mean, we're plebs, we're slaves, you know. Why would they want to help us out? But yeah, you know, people are saying in the chat, all magic is demonic. It's all demonic. I mean, guys, I understand that that manipulating things and creating things can be considered, I guess, not weird, but it can be considered dark and maybe not good for you. But I mean, what do you think manifestation is? I mean, that's a form of magic. I find that a form of magic where you can manipulate your reality. If you can create your reality and manifest your reality, in my opinion, that's a form of magic, and that's not bad to me. You know, I mean, so not everything has to go straight to this is demonic, and then you bang the gavel onto the thing and it's set in stone. I just don't think that. Real quick.
Well,
go ahead.
That I think what they're referring to is the mystery of iniquity, mm-hmm. which are the things you're not supposed to be messing with, you know, and there are definitely things you're not supposed to be messing with, and I don't really think we're supposed to be messing with the spirit world.
No.
And there is a kind of a crossover there, because but they do this all the time with their duality. You know, they're always seeping into things that are good and twisting them on their ear, you know, and so by the time they're like exercise, you know, and then they get yoga, and then they're going to get the kundalini going, you know, and so they worm their way into exercise, there's nothing wrong with exercising.
No, it's very good.
But
I should do more of it.
You see how when they get a hold of it, it's just another way
they pervert it.
They can get their their philosophy in there.
Sure.
And get people doing things that they want them to do.
Right. Hey, this is good. Do this, you know, and then you're ending up doing something actually negative to yourself. Real quick, Shan Anon, thank you so much for the super chat. You know you don't have to do that. She says, True Train, let's get it going. Lisa Pack, thank you for that super chat. Grandpa C, choo choo. Absolutely. And I know there was another one. We'll continue down. Mikey D, intention is magic. That, my friend, is very well said. I agree with you. And Sunny Skies, I love our Friday nights here with Linda and Thomas. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Me too. I love them too.
I love it. So, what did I just do? Hold on real quick. Yeah, show chat. Real quick, guys. Absolutely. Oh, we got another one. Mohawk Girl. Absolutely. She says, I'm starting to think good magic is actually God, and bad magic is demons and all that. God sends power to us to do, i.e., these examples, healing, prophecy, so on and so forth. I agree with that. There's nothing, I agree with that.
Yeah, but I think this has to do with language, because that would be, to me anyway, that would be a miracle.
Sure.
More like miracles.
Sure.
And less, not so man manipulated, more God giving, than, God seeing fit to give, to you and return your efforts, as opposed to somebody trying to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do. Real quick, if you guys are really enjoying this, please smash that like button right now. Don't forget to follow me and Linda on YouTube, True Reporting, also McAllister TV, and follow us on Twitter. Linda's been on Twitter she's getting feisty on there. It's great to see. Snarky, yeah. Snarky on there. So follow her at Linda_Paris. Follow me at True Reporting. And if you want to support these channels, you can do so. We both have PayPal and Patreon, and you can hit up the Super Chat too if you like. I would greatly appreciate it. But moving forward, you sent me this picture that I wanted to talk about real quick. This was, and I will share it with you right now. Here we go. Boom and a boom. This picture. So.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting. And there's a video. And I'm sorry, I didn't. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I did send you the link to that.
You did.
And it's a lady. She's like a professor, and she's explaining this. And a lot of it she's not quite getting, but what she's saying is mind-blowing if you know what we know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, she kind of is clueless in the end. She doesn't really know what's really going on. But with all the stuff that we know, when she starts talking about this thing, you're just like, oh, man. Oh, wow. She really gets into some stuff.
So I want to zoom in so everyone can see. So we'll start here at the apex. Set the crystal up here, sending the ray into time-space. I mean, these pyramids were worshipped for a reason. They didn't just build them for the hell of building something. They built it because there was definitely something with it. Jeff George, thank you so much for the super chat. Can't believe Ray let McCabe free from charges. Wait for more charges, my friends. Go look at the 17 post. And Bear Away SF says, hair looks great, Linda. That's a nice compliment.
Oh, thank you. Who said that?
Bear Away SF.
Thank you, because I cut my own hair. It takes me a really long time, and I really appreciate that.
Very, very nice. And Shelly says, please be careful when talking about magic. There is no middle ground. I think I can talk about it. I'm not going to sit here and do it. I'm not going to sit here and perform it, but I'm going to talk about it.
But to her, did you say that was a female?
Yeah, yes.
To her point, if you notice, and look, it's a simple observation, but these things matter, I think. When you're talking about their, quote, magic, and it is magic because Thought describes himself as a wizard. Okay, and remember, it's the bird-headed one.
Sure.
The wings.
Yes.
So look at it this way. In this diagram of this pyramid right here, they're going down to get to other dimensions and other places and reincarnate and all this stuff. They're going down. We are going up. We are up here in a cerebral,
yes,
spiritual, heavenly. We want to go to the heavenly realms. Well, you don't get there by going down into the pyramid.
True. This is true.
That's what I have to say about it.
There's more people are asking questions. William Fox says Linda would like more info on Antarctica.
I'm working on that, and I think this does play into that to some extent.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if we're talking Antarctica. We're talking about what is it? Atlantis. I think those things do tie in together. And Kanish says, Linda, did anyone contact you teletransported got? I don't know what that means. I don't know if you messed that up, Kanish. Kanish. Linda, did anyone contact you referencing teletransported? I don't know what that means. But yeah, anyways, let's get back into this. So thank you for those super chats, guys. I greatly appreciate it. As we can see, so it says sending the ray into time and space, drawing the force from the ether. This is what you've been talking about. Concentrating upon the gateway to Amenti. And then it says other chambers seem empty, but hidden within are keys. As we can see here, the Great Pyramid, the Force House. I guess you come in here, right?
But it's not you physically.
No. Right. Yes.
Built these things for the I guess the spirit is what they're doing, and this Thoth, it says lived for like all these lives and living forever, and this is exactly what they're trying to do. They want to live forever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So they spiritually go in there. It's like almost like they're like it's through not astral projection. It's like I guess
something like that.
Yeah, it is something like that.
Something like that.
So they go in through a subterranean chamber, Amenti. Then they go in through the bottom. It looks like they're going in towards on the north side, and then they come up to a grand gallery, and then they get into the Sarah, because it's really hard to read. Here it is, sarcophagus. My bad. Yeah, into the sarcophagus, force house or chamber, possible void. I mean, very, very strange. Has somebody been into this thing? I mean, this is crazy. The tablet one, a doorway raised over the passage.
Yeah, if you look at that video that this came from.
Mm-hmm.
There's photographs of the stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody's been in there, they've taken pictures of it and stuff. But this seems like the traveling of the soul. You've got the crystal at the top bringing down this ether, right?
Yes.
And I think it's really interesting too that the Egyptians were so into the DNA. They saved their teeth, they saved everything.
Yeah, they did.
Their head. And that's really what these pyramids are about, preserving the DNA so they can come back.
Well, I guess they go. It's like a form. So you're saying they don't physically go in here; that it's more of an astral projection that they go into the sarcophagus, and then they in this spiritual form. Then they are pulling in from the top of the pyramid. They're pulling in, information.
Well, I'll try to find the passage because I have a bunch of tabs open here and I was reading it today. So I'll try to find the passage. But I also wanted to bring up something that the Emerald Tablets say that I thought was really fascinating.
Oh, yeah, go for
it. Thought.
Okay.
That he came down in a spaceship, which is supposedly under the pyramid. Down there.
Really?
There's a spaceship under there. That's what the tablets say.
Which?
Yeah. So what? I thought that was like, the more I read about this, the more it just got deeper and deeper and deeper. I was like,
do you know which tablet? Do you know which one? Do you remember? If you don't.
I'm not sure, but I'm going to look for the place for these tabs because if I have the spaceship thing.
Another thing, somebody said, Tribe of Lions says, and they were enamored with death. And they were, but another thing that they were enamored with is cats, which they worship cats a lot, which is, I don't know. What if, who knows, right? Jamie Lavender, I emailed you pics of Bush Sr.'s pyramid on his lap. Oh, did you now?
So it says that he recorded all of his records. That's what that are there. And you have to travel through planes. You have to like go into dimensions and stuff to get, that's the key. Mm-hmm. So when you go into these chambers, I guess there's some kind of instructions, or I don't know what. There's a tablet maybe that tells you how to actually do it. And it says
these tablets are so long, guys. It's the key of wisdom. Thoth, the Atlantean, give of my wisdom, give of my knowledge, give of my power. Freely I give to the children of men. Give that they, too, might have wisdom, to shine through the world from the veil of the night. That's super positive. Wisdom is power, and power is wisdom, one with each other, perfecting the whole. Be thou not proud, O man, in thy wisdom discourse with the ignorant as well as the wise. If one comes to thee full of knowledge, listen and heed, for wisdom is all. I mean, this doesn't sound, this is just how people talked back then. Mary Davenport with a big super chat. She says, Happy Valentine's Day, Linda and Tomas. Look forward so much to Beyond the Headlines. Have you ever looked into the Cathars? They were all killed. They were all killed during the First Crusade and the Inquisition. They were Christian, and the Catholic Church burned them at the stake. They were Gnostic. Well, the Gnostics were good. That's like pre-Christianity, but the Gnostics were good. But that's very interesting. The Cathars. I'll write that down. That's interesting.
Here's something pretty interesting about the Crystal Palace. It says the Crystal Palace within and opening the halls of Amente. Mm-hmm. And it says, through the meditation we are about to convey, and this is going to explain how to do it, I guess, but it says you can access higher levels of creativity innate within you and gain access to what we refer to as your higher minds. And I want to stop here because I do think there's a good way to do this, but this is a chakra thing, and I don't, that goes back to the mystery schools and all of that. And that is the mystery of iniquity. You're not supposed to be messing with that stuff. Mm-hmm. But it talks about meditation, which I don't think meditation is bad, but I think, again, they've hijacked it, and they've come up with their own variations, which are, all Crowley and Blavatsky.
Yeah, well, that's why when you think of like meditation, you think of like, they besmirched all of this stuff when you go back to like the hippie age where, you had the Grateful Dead and let's do acid. They were controlled by the CA. They were basically that. They were that entity. So anything that comes out like that was hippy dippy, anything with meditation, anything to do with yoga, anything to do with like natural intakings of, supplements, stuff like that. That's considered like you shouldn't, for a long time until recently, that was considered like, don't mess with this stuff. It's bad. It's not good for you. Natural medicine, so on and so forth. But now this stuff's starting to creep out. You can go up to pretty much anybody now and be like, do you meditate? And they'll be like, yeah, of course I meditate. Do you know?
And even if you think about what's her face, I'm trying to think of that singer of Fleetwood Mac singer, that Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, witch.
You know how she was like a Wiccan kind of, and that was all like they all wore the long robes and stuff. It was just considered eccentric, basically.
Sure.
Not dangerous in any way.
Right.
Yeah. Here's something really interesting that I wanted to read. This says the Crystal Palace within and opening the halls of Amente. It says the Crystal Palace within refers to the pineal gland because part of its structure is crystalline in nature. These small calcite crystals have, piezoelectric properties that can respond to the higher realms of light. By activating these crystalline potentials within your pineal gland, you open a portal to your higher mind, which can bring to you and humanity an influx of creativity, insight, and solutions to personal collective problems. Now, this is talking about it as meditation, but I believe we use the pineal gland when we pray. And I believe
Yes.
that's what, when we talk to God, that's what we're supposed to be using the pineal gland for. So when they come up with all these other different ways to activate, stimulate, use the pineal gland,
Sure.
I think that is the mystery schools. Look, you reach a point, and we're at that point where there's a fork in the road. It's one or the other. It's good or evil. Now, as far as the knowledge goes, I think all that's going to filter by the wayside, because there is a lot of confusion going on right now.
There is. And real quick, I don't know if people know this, I with the whole Stevie Nicks thing, which was crazy, and I don't know if you guys know that, but if you remember that TV show, American, what is it, American Nightmare or something like that? It was a TV show. It was huge. There was each...
Was it American Horror?
Yeah,
or something?
American Horror Story. Thank you.
Story.
Yeah, American Horror Story. Each season had to do with different things. So one was like haunted house, one was like asylum, and then the third season was about the Wiccan cult. It was about the witches, and Stevie Nicks was on that show as the head witch. I swear to you, and she played a witch. And you think they did that as a joke? Or no, it's because she is into that. Real quick, Quinte, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, how's it going? It's going great. Love spending Valentine's Day with Linda and all of you here today. Absolutely. And we had one more. Where'd it go? Crystal Lewis from abroad says, there is a royal barge that you can visit that was buried next to the Great Pyramid. I've been there. It's extremely fascinating. What?
Wow.
A bar? What is it? I'm going to look this up. The royal barge. All right. Go for it, Linda.
No, I was just saying that this is what they seek to do in this. They are trying to, I think they're trying to go into other dimensions, and somehow they have life extension this way. Because I wish I could find the exact thing.
No.
It talks about gaining access to what we refer to as your higher mind, which is simply an aspect of your consciousness that extends beyond the constraints of your awareness. And our awareness has been, muted by them.
Yeah,
in different ways. Our pineal glands are all messed up.
Yeah, because they're calcified by fluoride. That's why. And this is really one of the things I've switched to this different, like alkaline water. And if you do that, I don't think I've had tap water in a very long time, just because I really believe that if they did not want us to connect with source on such a higher level that obviously they know could be very disastrous to their whole scheme of things, when enslaving humanity, why not just poison the water supply? Why not just calcify our pineal gland so we cannot activate it enough, get it activated to where we can actually connect with source fully all the time? And and I know people are like, well, I pray all the time, I connect, yeah, you do that, and I do that too, but it's extremely hard to really get that mindset, at least for me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm battling something. I don't know.
Well, let me try to put it this way.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, people pray all the time and they have conversations, but let me put it to you this way. We go out and run all the time. We breathe the air. We have the sunshine. We hear the birds. We live our lives. I bet when all this pollution is cleaned up, when they get all this crap that these people have done, we notice a huge difference. and how we, the smells, the sounds, our senses. And so my point is they have calcified our pineal gland and all kinds of other, God only knows what vaccines are doing to it and everything else.
Sure.
So they have hindered our ability. And you won't notice, you think you're talking the best you can when you pray to God. But once it gets cleaned up, you may notice that, like, wow, it's way different now. It's a lot better. We don't know. We're acclimated to that. We're acclimated to what they've done to us. And we accept that, and maybe they're hiding greater things from us, and greater contact, greater moral fiber, higher vibrations, whatever you want to say, that we could be having better conversations with God. But our pineal glands are all schmucked up.
Schmucked up, I like it. Yeah, I agree. Let me bring this back in. I want to share this with you. This is what the barge they were talking about. Real quick, see. Here we go. And let me bring back in the chat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this was found next to the Great Pyramid.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? I got a couple more super chats. Quinte says, pray over the water. It has memory. Pray over the water. I guess that you drink, right? Okay. Appreciate that.
Well,
Quinte?
Hey, can I add something there?
Go. Yeah.
What? Who said that?
Quinte.
Yes, because have you ever seen the movie What the Bleep Do We Know?
No.
It's all about quantum physics, but they put these glasses of water in rooms, okay? And they put a thought on the door of the room. It's like an empty room. And all the people who have to go in there, it's like anger. You have to be angry when you're in there. And that's what they do. People go in there and they're angry around this glass of water. And then they go in the next room, it says happy. And they're happy around the glass of water. And so all these emotional things. And then they put the water under the microscope and you wouldn't believe it. The water has memory. It does.
Yeah, that's crazy. I have definitely heard that, which is amazing. I mean, it ties right in. Yeah, I'm not saying what Quinte said was crazy. I'm just saying that I've heard of that too, and I've seen the experiments where you freeze water and it has, it changes shape whether if it's negative or positive emotion around it. You could freeze it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that point to her point or their point, and also the ones where you have the negative, the slides of the water, where you had the negative thoughts, was all bilious green and brown and gross, and it had all these like yucky formations. And the ones where the happy thoughts had like snowflakes, and they were like, it looked more like crystals and snowflakes, and it was more beautiful to look at. It's just an interesting scientific experiment.
Oh, it's incredible. That's one of the greatest experiments of all time. Brenda Verzani says, and Lady Gaga played an American Horror Story as well. I do remember that. I remember that. And we all know God only knows what she's into.
Wasn't Jessica Lange like a big figure in that too?
Yeah, she was incredible in that show.
Yeah, from King Kong, Jessica Lange.
So I'm looking at this thing, which is absolutely crazy, and it says the map of the Giza complex. I wish I could zoom in, guys, but I can't, so I'm sorry. It says the largest of the pyramids was a great pyramid built by Pharaoh Cheops. Near the base of the Great Pyramid are 5 underground chambers. In each of the chambers, the ancient Egyptians placed a dismantled boat for the pharaoh's use in the afterlife.
Wow.
What? In 1952, work began on opening the first chamber, a large pit covered with a giant limestone block sealed with gypsum mortar. Inside were the most perfectly preserved remains of one of the pharaoh's funerary ships, completely disassembled into 1,224 parts. As you can see here, guys, which is nuts. Symbols carved into each of these pieces denote its position with the hull so that the vessel could be more easily reassembled in the next world. What?
Wow.
Or by nautical archaeologists. The vessel has been reassembled with some damaged or missing pieces repaired, and the modern lashings are now on display in the specially constructed museum next to the Great Pyramid. A second chamber has been drilled into with the remains of another ship that is visible inside. Unfortunately, it appears that during the construction of the museum, vibrations from the heavy machinery cracked the seal in this chamber, leading to a lot of damage to the pieces inside the exposure. You know, I mean, this is crazy. Look at that.
Well, it almost feels like they're traveling into different dimensions and picking up technology where they land and trying to use it to get to another dimension or something, because, or to live longer or whatever they do. It almost seems like they're traveling all over the place interdimensionally, because that's what they were doing here. That's exactly what the Nazis were doing. They were looking for the technology, and what they were going to do with it is depends on who the scientist or person is that you talk to. A lot of people think that they wanted to get that the moon has something to do with it. You know, it's like a library with chips with ancient technology, where they put these masters, these great ones, their I don't know what you would say, their consciousness or their personality or whatever, on these chips. And they're up there in the moon archived. I mean, a lot of people believe that.
Right.
And that when they have their ceremonies, they're actually trying to contact and give energy to them, you know, to activate these, keep these things going, you know.
Yeah, that's, I'm just, excuse me, I'm looking at this boat.
It's crazy.
And it says that the Cheops ship, which was the Pharaoh ship, has no keel. That is, it does not have a heavy timber instead of a plank running along the longitudinal center line of the whole bottom. Nor, as we know, did any Egyptian vessels have a keel until at least 1,000 years later on. However, you can see the bottom planking is slightly thicker than the side planking. 12 long paddles were found on the vessel. They were for steering, just steering. So apparently, the vessel was designed to neither be paddled, because there was no room, or sailed. There was no rigging for a sail, but to be towed instead. The vessel has a large cabin at the stern and the smaller canopied area near the bow. This is crazy.
I'm telling you, this thing gets deeper and deeper. And let me throw another thing in here. I was looking for it, the Giza Intelligence Group.
Real quick, Linda. Somebody said, phrased eyebrow said, it sailed on the ether.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's good.
Whoa.
That's deep. I like that.
Sounds about right.
I don't know why that resonated with us so much, but yeah, that's crazy. Good thought. I like that.
I mean, look, we've already been told we don't know anything. And, you know, that everything, I don't know whether this was a Q post or not, but I think it was, where Q said everything you know is photoshopped bullshit or something like that. So, yeah, I think we're in for some real awakening moments. And this whole Giza pyramid thing and the emerald tablets, it's been kind of hovering in the background there. I've been hearing about it. But this idea that Thoth came here, you know, tens of thousands of years ago, maybe even longer, and that there is a spaceship underneath the Giza pyramid, that it is below the, what did they call it? Amente. I forgot how far below, but it mentions, and maybe I should search that and see if I can find that, or maybe you can search it.
Sure.
Thoth spaceship below pyramid or something like that. But that just added this whole new element to it, that it's in the Emerald Tablets about a spaceship. But there's a lot about space travel and time travel and all this stuff in the Sumerian tablets. And of course, you've got the Sumerian jump pads,
Yes.
where they're supposed to stand there. But when you are reading this about where it says, I mean, this sent chills down my spine. Set I a crystal. That he put a crystal, and the whole thing. Set I the crystal, sending the ray into the time space. I mean, what the hell? And then it says, draining the force from out of the ether. This is in this term ether is in the Emerald Tablets. So this is nothing new, and it says concentrating upon the gateway to Amente, and going down there, I guess, to get to the spaceship or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and Ringo Stark also said there is an aquifer below the Great Pyramid. That is true. I've heard that as well. I think that what they would do is they would actually go, and Linda said this, is I think they go into the higher ups, the people who were the pharaohs, people who were the, what were the ladies called? Were they pharaohs too?
Well, here's the thing.
Or were they?
You gotta wonder about the women, because it seems like there was a lot of, I don't want to call them trannies, but there's a lot about that written on there's a lot of drawings that have been emerged where there's, men with eye makeup on and stuff like that.
This is true. Yeah. And what is his name? The guy who he was a pharaoh. He's like the most well-known pharaoh of all time.
King
Tut. King Tut. He had like a club foot, and he was like 4'9". He was like a freak, but they made him out to be like this incredible, like good-looking person when actually it was a freak show. No offense, King Tut. Zoe Ferrier says, you two have become my Friday and sometimes my Sunday.
Oh,
that's right, because we do every other Friday and Sunday now. Night companions. My Valentine is in truth. Much love and God bless. Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate that. Zoe or Zoe? You tell me. But thank you. Very kind of you. I appreciate that. And we love having you. We love having everyone here. And if you're enjoying your time, smash the like button. Don't be shy. So, yeah. So I'm looking at this video. There is a video, but I'm scared if I play it, I will be completely demonetized. But I'm looking at it. False prophecy read from the Hermetic text by the Great Pyramid mystery has finally been blah, blah, blah in search of alien planets. And the use... I can't play that. I'm afraid I'll get... Spaceship under the Sphinx. Every time I click on this... It takes me to somewhere else, and it's not right. All right. What is this? Now I just got done reading the
Well, I just typed in Thoth space, and Thoth spaceship under the Sphinx just came up as an option automatically. And there's some YouTube videos. It says real alien found under the Sphinx. Sealed in a crystal box. I don't know, must see. But they've got Secrets of the Emerald Tablets revealed, Thoth spaceship from the Emerald Tablets. Let's see, spaceship buried under the Sphinx. That's what it is.
I'm seeing a lot of it, but there's not a lot of sauce.
I got the pyramid mixed up with the Sphinx, but it's buried under the Sphinx. His Thoth spaceship. So it says spaceship under the Sphinx. It all adds up. Let's see what this says. It says this guy just got done reading the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, which until the other day he had no idea even existed. But boy, am I happy I stumbled upon it. Um, oh, well, I didn't know this. It says, as many of you probably know, and I'm sure a lot of you don't, in 1933, the sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce told of a hall of records that lies beneath the Sphinx, which was later semi-confirmed by ground-penetrating radar in 1973. And the Hall of Records was said to contain the history of Atlantis from beginning up until its destruction and disappearance. And it says here, the lines that caught my eye were, then I gathered the sons of Atlantis into the spaceship. I brought all my records, brought the records of sunken Atlantis. Gathered I all of my powers, instruments, many of mighty magic. Deep neath the rocks, I buried my spaceship, waiting the time when man might be free. Over the spaceship erected a marker in the form of a lion, yet unto man. There, neath the image, rests yet my spaceship, forth to be brought when need shall arise. And they're saying, could this be confirmation that Edgar Cayce was right, or the other way around? It says, bring forth my ship and conquer with ease. Deep neath the image lies my secret. Search and find in the pyramid I built. But you got to wonder if you have to go into that mental, go into like a higher dimension or something to go.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely spiritual capabilities. It's not anything basic and physical by any means. I mean, these people were on another level. They didn't have, so this is like the thing that a lot of people can't wrap their head around. They didn't have technology. They from what we know, I think they were getting off-world technology through downloads. I don't think I think that's what they were doing. Like they were able to create, who knows, man, we could go down a freaking rabbit hole with this on how they perfected these pyramids. I believe one of them is absolutely perfect, and the way that they line up with their longitudinal and latitudinal, they're like, it's lined up perfectly with the stars or something. It's like how I think that we don't give them credit. I think that what we've learned, I didn't learn any of this in school. Like, I think that they were leaps and bounds ahead of us, and they didn't need stuff like this. Or maybe, like, from what I've researched, and I know I'm kind of rambling, but from what I've researched is that Atlantis, these people did have stuff like what we have now, but actually way more advanced. Then they were wiped out. And then, then you bring up the age of the Egyptians, so on and so forth. Then we see this, where, they're creating things that are mathematically impossible to be created without any sort of technology showing them how to do this. So the belt of Orion. That's what it's pointing to, I guess. Is that what Orion's belt? So,
there was a couple things I wanted to mention. One is in something you were reading, I noticed that there was mention made of gypsum and limestone. I think these things are really important.
That's what blocked the way to get in.
I think all the rocks, that we have on this earth are way more important than we know. And that there's energy and stuff involved here. And if you notice Epstein Island, what do they have everywhere? Rocks everywhere. They have all kinds of formations with rocks, and they have their spells and stuff inside of rocks. And also there are rock fields, and David Paulides talks about how people disappear in rock fields, especially granite rock fields. And Yosemite, which is supposed to be where most people have disappeared, is I think the largest granite, where the granite. And don't forget about Stone Mountain and where we did the show on it. The thing. Anyway, the 10 Commandments for the New World Order. I can't think of what.
Guidestones.
Guide stones, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it talked about these things being symbols and stuff, and I was wondering about sigils, but also in the emerald tablets, and I noticed this because I was just reading through them, because I found them very interesting. It says something about the large, wild, hairy man that lives in the West, in the land in the West, the large, wild, hairy man. That sounds like Big Feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That sounds like Big Feet. And that it says that. It talks about the wild, hairy men that live in the West. So I just thought that was really interesting because, I don't know, I mean, we still see wild, hairy, big men over here in the West.
Yeah, and when you're thinking about...
I saw one the other day. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, my heart stopped. Things that I've going down, some rabbit holes. I've read, that the minerals and so on and so forth, gold. Why do we worship gold? I mean, that's what. Why was everything in gold back in the Egyptian times? Everything was, even their caskets were gold. There was so much there, emeralds, blah blah blah, rubies. So I thought, like, if people have said that off-world entities come here because they mine this planet, and Weeping Willow again with the slam dunk. Weeping Willow, we were talking about you earlier. No chat this time. Last time you were here, you said Q is real. ... That stuck with me and Linda for a minute. So no chat this time. Thank you. I mean, Weeping Willow. I mean, that's unbelievable. You help out a lot. Trust me. I'm very grateful. We're all great. I mean, that's crazy that you're able to do this. Thank you for your generosity. It's very kind, very sweet. Thank you.
So yeah, I lost my train of thought. What were you talking about? You said something, and
Oh, they mine our planet.
Oh, and you were talking about the gold.
Gold, yes. They worship gold. Everyone worships gold. Everything's got to be gold, even back then. And I was saying that there's a thing out there that there's a theory out there that off-world entities would come here to mine this planet and take it back with them.
Because, and sooner or later, Thomas, sooner or later, we're going to have to go there. But because reptilians, I think, need the gold to help them survive in our... I think that has something to do with it, or there's something about that. But we probably should eventually talk about reptilians. And, we talked about the vril lizards. But, there's also that. So there's a lot of things. And I haven't read through the emerald tablets enough to know that whether they talk about the reptilians or not. But I think I was reading where these reptilians need the gold. And it's a certain type of gold. It's just not any kind of gold. It's something about the skin.
For their skin?
Yeah.
For their scales, rather?
Maybe.
I'm
not sure. I'll have to bone up on that.
No, you're fine. I want to see what this is. What? So this is another tablet, and it's considered supplementary tablet, and it's talking about Atlantis. And it says, "List ye, O man, to the deep hidden wisdom lost to the world since the time of the dwellers, lost and forgotten by men of this age." Now I know this is like written strange, and a lot of people are like, what is he saying? So it's like, if we can break down just maybe like the first 3 paragraphs. "List ye, O man," this is Thoth talking, "to the deep hidden wisdom lost to the world." It has been lost over time. It's been stolen from us. "Since the time of the, and quote, the dwellers, lost and forgotten by men of this age." Okay, I get that. "Know ye this earth is but a portal, guarded by powers unknown to man. Yet the dark lords hide the entrance, that leads to the heaven-born land. Like archons? Is that archons? Do you know what an archon is? I know you do, Linda. I'm talking about the audience.
Well, see, there was something else about the sun being a portal.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that?
Mm-hmm.
Where we could get sucked in.
Well, we're going to get sucked into the sun?
Well, that's the idea. I mean, look, the things right now, I think a lot of things are out there that are meant to confuse us because the truth is about to come out and they don't really want us to know which way to look.
Sure.
So got all this stuff going out. But I have heard that the sun could be a portal, some kind of portal into some kind of weird dimension or something.
Sure.
But I don't think that's in the Emerald Tablets. But this Emerald Tablet thing about, it sounds like this traveling soul, and it sounds like that they're reincarnating themselves somehow or something. It mentions that. And that he's lived all these years longer than everyone else. So by reincarnating himself over and over again, and he's the one with the bird head.
Right.
So how does that all fit together? It's an interesting combination of, well, myth, legend, fact. I mean, this is written on these tablets. And I think there's, reason to really get down to the bottom of this.
Yeah. There's definitely, we definitely do need to do that.
Get to the bottom of this.
I got to. Know ye that earth, this, and I have something to back this up. Know ye this earth is but a portal, guarded by powers unknown to man, yet the dark lords hide the entrance that leads to the heaven-born land. So what that means to me is that this is another theory, and we can go off this. So I've also heard that when you die, I don't believe we die, but when we leave these meat suits and we go into the astral realm, like there's a trick to go towards the light. We always say, go towards the light, go towards the light. It's even in the frickin' like the movie Poltergeist where she's like, go towards the light, whatever your name is, Caroline. And so I've also heard that that's actually a trick that is created by the archons so that you actually you just keep going through this funnel phase where they're basically taking your energy and they send you back down to this 3D realm, which is controlled. They're losing control, but you get filtered back down to this planet where you're basically just used as energy, this entire thing.
And you're in a soul trap.
Correct. Yes.
They call it a soul trap.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've heard about that. A lot of MK Ultra victims talk about this soul loop, soul trap.
Right.
And these Illuminatis are doing this, and that right now we have an opportunity to escape the soul trap. But you have to ascend. We have to ascend because we're behind.
Correct.
We're behind. We're supposed to be more ascended now. And by keeping us in this soul trap, they have kept us from, and I always think about that because I think about, you always think about your grandmother or your granddad and they pass away and you think about them in heaven and everything. And this throws a whole monkey wrench into the whole thing. It's like, now what? I want to know where my parents are. I want to know.
Sure. No, I again, so Mohawk Girl comes at us with a super chat. She says, oh my God, guys. Let me pause it right here. Oh my God, guys. John DeSouza, I don't know how to do Souza, says the earth is a portal for all dimensions and the cabal wants to keep it all secret so they can keep us grounded. I mean, we're stumbling on the path of the same thing that you've heard, Mohawk Girl, so maybe we're all reading the same things and it's coming to light, right? But I wanted to say real quick, and I'll get it out of the way. So, obviously, yeah, it's a trick. But people are like, well, what do you mean a trick? Like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about these things called archons. If you aren't familiar with archons, Check this out. So an archon in Gnosticism and religions closely related to demonic entities subordinate to the embodiment of evil in the corresponding belief system of the Archonites, Ophites, Sethians. And in the writings of the, whatever that word is, library, the archons are rulers, each related to one of the 7 planets. They prevent souls from leaving the material realm. So, guys, if you think your boy doesn't do his research, he does his research. And they are the rulers of a realm within the kingdom of darkness, who together make up the prince of darkness. So, is this true? The Gnostics believed in it, and if you don't know about the Gnostics, you need to go check that out, because it predates Christianity, but it actually is like, it is the same thinking and logics of Christianity. Love. That's basically what it preaches. But, it predates it, but still, it's still along the same, almost the exact same lines. I just don't think there was a Jesus at the time. No, there wasn't. So, it's crazy that they were preaching this stuff. They were talking about archons that actually, they do prevent us from leaving the material world, because we get filtered back down to this 3D realm over and over and over and over again. And crazy, son.
And check it out. This parasitic, there's all this talk about this nanotechnology and this parasitic plasma-based AI, right? Mm-hmm. So you breathe it in and it feeds off negative emotions, right? That keeps us from ascending. So I think that's, and what they're talking about, this hive mentality, that if they can infect a lot of people with this parasitic plasma-based parasite AI, mm-hmm. that they can start feeding thoughts into people and get this hive thinking going, where everybody's thinking the same thing, right? So it's programmable. So it's really pretty crazy stuff, and it's messing with from my perspective anyway, I feel like we're here to ascend. We're here to get to know God. We're here to do all these things. That's why we're here. Mm-hmm. And they're keeping us from doing all of that. And that's part of their, quote, magic, to keep us all, as their slaves and as their... I honestly think that a lot of what they're trying to do is they want to find compatible bodies on this planet for all of these entities and things that they're trying to conjure up. They want to use us for that. And they want to find compatible bodies. That's why the 23andMe and the Red Cross and all of this, they are separating us and dividing us and categorizing us for their future use.
Yeah, I agree. Something weird is happening. I keep getting this. I'm not even kidding you right now. It's happened twice. Like a really high-pitched frequency, and it almost makes me want to shut my eyes. Am I having a stroke? I don't know. But I keep hearing it in the headset, and it's not in my ear. It's coming from something. But I don't know. That I didn't like that feeling, whatever that was. Anyways, I didn't mean to cut you off with that. It's just...
No, I just was this whole thing, it's when seeing that diagram of the pyramid and knowing that the sarcophagus, which we've always been told is a tomb.
Yes.
Right?
A tomb. Yeah, it's so basic. It's just a tomb. No, it's not. It's lies. That's what this is. And we have to thank God for the internet.
And now you're reading all this literature on what it's actually for. Look at how much work went into that. And it's got a crystal on top and all this stuff, knowledge.
But where do they know that? What taught them?
Right, exactly. And look what they're trying to do. Well, they must be doing it, or at least they think they're doing it, right? But if you look at the Egyptian drawings and the Sumerian tablets, and I haven't had a chance to look at the emerald tablets yet. I'm fascinated by these things, but there is all kinds of technology in their symbolism and everything. There's little helicopters and things drawn in there.
There are, yeah.
It's like spaceships, helicopters, all the things that we have. Actually, they look better than the ones we have.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you really dig deep into Atlantis, these people they had quantum computers. They were time traveling, and then something I believe from my research that something off world pushed that reset button, and they said no, you're not advancing, you're not beating us. And then they shut it all down. And then, will that happen again? Will that happen to us? Are we advancing too much? Are we about to hit? Because I can tell you this right now. We're about to hit the golden age. We're about to hit an advancement jump, like a takeoff. We're really about to hit this in our lifetime. It's going to be crazy. And will we see a reset button? Who knows? Who holds the cards? If Atlantis was way further than us, and again, there's, we shall see. But, if things come out about Atlantis, I'm pretty sure that there's documentation on this that's not on the internet, that's not given to us plebs. But I guarantee you secret schools, mystery schools know about this stuff. I guarantee you the elite know, and they have these technologies that they won't release to us, obviously. But I'm telling you that why would Atlantis just go underwater like that if they were so advanced? Unless something was of a higher power, something that was more advanced than they were, and said, no, sir. And could that happen now? Scary.
I'm obsessed with this idea now that there's a spaceship under the Sphinx and that it says that in the Emerald tablets.
I don't know.
So, I think, well, surely they would be able to see if that was there or if there was any kind of object down there.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You can't just go there and start digging or anything like that. But
no, I wonder if they know if it's there or not.
What if they've taken it?
Or they've taken it, yeah.
Yeah.
These people take things too, it's just like these giant
Thieves. Quinte says, are you a player or an NPC? Learn your DNA. That's true. You want to be a player in all this, or you want to be a non-playable character? Yeah, because I meet NPCs all day long. They come up to me and they're like, yes, vote Hillary Clinton. I love Hillary Clinton. Trump is a racist. Orange man bad. Yeah, this is how they talk, right? This is how they talk. It's gross. And I know Quinte dropped another one. She said, learn your code DNA D class. That'd be great. I hope they do drop a D code on something so I can figure out what the hell I am and why I'm doing this and why Linda is doing this and what are we? I know we're God. Don't read into everything I say word by word. I'm just, sometimes I'm just talking, but, don't leave that at that.
Well, the way I look at it, because there's a lot of talk about this whole, and then their aliens came down here and they were here before us and they actually decided, we want to make some slaves. So, we're going to mix our DNA with something else and we're going to build a slave race and that's what we are. But I don't believe that because clearly, well, first of all, number one, these people are playing around with living eternally. Okay, we have that.
Yeah.
They don't have that. We don't have to mess around, with all that stuff. Like the pyramid going down, like here's all the hallways and you can sit there and meditate and do all this stuff and you'll go to another dimension. We don't have to do all that. We live here and we have eternal life. All we have to do is get to know God and live a good life, and build and grow and love each other and all these very simple things. They don't have that ability. So we're obviously higher beings than they are because they have to do all this, jerry-rig the whole thing.
Yeah. Sadly, I did the 23andMe. Somebody says, don't do the 23andMe. I did it like an idiot. But before I knew all this, so they got my shit. They got me, son.
You know what? Your organs are probably too damaged. They don't want them, right? No, I'm saying you better say it right now.
Yeah, don't
Don't take Thomas's organs.
No.
They're damaged.
I don't know if this is true because I haven't looked at it. Isn't it like a thing now that you have to be an organ donor?
Oh, I don't think they can do that. Besides,
I've never do
that. A lot of people can't get organ donors because of some kind of, thing or another.
Yeah. I don't know. But what I do know is that we're stumbling onto some crazy stuff, and if you guys are enjoying it, I would really appreciate it if you smash that like button. We're about to hit 1,000 likes. Hit the like button, son. Also, you can donate to both our channels if you want to through PayPal, Patreon, or you can hit that super chat down below. I would appreciate it. What else can we talk about? We can open up the phone lines. Go for it.
I kind of wanted to throw it out there about the Giza intelligence group because
all right, let's do it.
A lot of these MK Ultra victims are coming out and saying that there is a whole compound there, and that they're doing all of this stuff. They're doing time travel. They're doing all of this stuff, and they are part of that IBIS, that Operation IBIS. Is connected with the Giza intelligence group, and Dr. Green, who was Mengele, and here's another one that never got old, and he was doing something, body jumping or something, and that's what his victims say, that he changed bodies. That's what they said. And that he always chose a body that was around 50 or 60 years old. And it was looking, they looked like it could have been the same person or a variation of the same person. So they were cooking up people back then in Nazi Germany. Oops, I said the
Nah, you're fine.
They were cooking up people back then. They were making things, down there. And a lot of this, I think, maybe even started around that Giza intelligence group. But there's a whole underground base there, and they are doing the bloodline thing. So, and tracking kids.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we covered all that.
They teach the kids how to, what did you say again? Not time travel, but to astrally project. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes the kids don't physically go there. They go there in their mind, these kids. But then, like we talked about, the DNA is they find these kids that supposedly have Anunnaki DNA in them.
Right, yeah. The 42 of them. Who knows? I made the mistake of doing the 23andMe. So if you want to come and get me. Whatever. Let me throw out this meeting ID so people can buzz in.
Well, they don't want my organs either, so they're not going to take my organs.
No.
I would advise against it.
I agree. Let's put it down. He is.
Hey, right. How about that McAfee cannibal confession?
What did you think about it?
Well, I bring it up because I noticed you did it. It was in your video.
Yeah, I threw it in just to be like, what is this? Is this what I say? Is this?
I think he's telling us he's found a way to tell the truth. I think he wants to let people know what's happening. I think probably he did it at one time, but I think he's been out of it for quite a while because he's been off on his own, kind of living on the boat with the wife, and they've got, automatic weapons and everything, and they're out there. Plus, he was supposedly taking Epstein Island video under that pseudonym, that name. And I think he's trolling them.
A lot of people are saying that in the chat right now. Real quick, before we continue further, if you call in, I cannot say this enough, mute your stream. Mute what we are saying on here and wait for me to click on you because it messes up when me and Linda are talking. So please mute your stream if you're going to call in. again, all right, so, right, was it sad? I think he had to throw in that satire, but money was involved in this. He had to edit this video, so on and so forth. He had to get that guy, whoever that was, could have been an actor, I don't know.
The priest guy, and they made sure that the priest guy looked as fake as they could possibly make him look. I mean, obviously it's not a priest, right?
Right, sure. Yeah, it was just a dude.
Made sure it was known that it was a parody, unlike a certain pencil neck person who got up there and acted like it was a parody, and it was all, oh, he said this, he said that.
I would love to stomp that guy.
So McAfee made sure everybody knew it was a skit, a parody.
Sure.
However, I think the important thing that came out was when he talked about that the victims have to be alive when you do it.
Yeah, he's like we were using the sedation on them, but it would get between me ingesting what they are, and he said their brains. What do you think he meant by that, pineal glands?
I think he didn't get high off of it. It wasn't the same feeling. Remember, he said it was the best high ever. Never in his life had he ever felt anything like this and this and the other. But when they knocked him out beforehand, it wasn't the same.
Nope.
And I think that's what he wanted to let people know, that this is crimes against humanity of a nature that is unheard of, that they have to do this to these kids while they're still alive.
Sure. I agree. Kimberly Marsh, thank you so much for that super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for your generosity. It does go a long way. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. Remember, mute your stream or I'm going to kick you off. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines. You're on the phone with Thomas and Linda. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Linda? What's going on, Thomas? Happy Valentine's Day. This is Elvis.
What's up, man? Happy Valentine's Day.
Good. Linda, real quick. Are you aware of the flower of life?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of the tactic divide and conquer?
Yes.
What happened at the Tower of Babel?
Well, you talk about that they couldn't speak to each other?
No, I'm talking about how everybody developed a new form of language, a new form of alphabet, and
right. That's what I'm saying, that they couldn't communicate with each other. They
correct.
know the meanings of words and stuff.
Yes. So we are aware that at one point, everyone had one language, one form of communication, and everybody had one way of understanding, and that's how we were able to build what supposedly was built. Now, another thing I want to explain is true light and corrupted light are not the same. Fire is a form of corrupted light. Fire bounces off the walls and it just goes everywhere. But real light is a self-absorbed light that even if you're in a dark room and it shows up in front of you, will not reflect off the walls. It's a self-consuming light and it doesn't reflect. That's real light. Some people seen it, most people haven't. So the real light is something that we are not aware of because we think we have to see it with our eyes. But the thing is that the real light is all around us, but it's in the same way as a form of electromagnetic field. See, our mind interprets electromagnetic field as light, but you're not aware of that. That's why a lot of people sleep is messed up and all that. So I'm always going back to this, and I'm always reverting back to this, because the whole point is that we are light beings, right? And Jesus is the light. But then what does Lucero means? Lucifer.
Well, he's the light of the morning star. So
light, right? We go back to light, right? So Jesus says he's the light. Then we have Lucero. But then what is the Lucifer related to? Fire, which is corrupted light.
Right.
It's a form of light that can be banished, which is water. Now, once again, didn't we say that water holds memory?
Yes.
Our DNA consists of, our body consists of water.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are around, when electricity was brought to us, it was actually, we were lowering ourselves. We were not advancing. We were actually lowering ourselves because we were metering something that was free and accessible to everyone. See, the only form of energy that we currently have has to be metered. Gasoline has to be metered. Electricity has to be metered. Wi-Fi has to be metered. Water, air, whatever you want to consider, any form of food has to be metered. So any form of any energy has to be controlled. It has to be metered. And once you try to tap outside of that metered, say your name is Tesla or whatever other person you are, now you're actually interrupting the cloak that's over our eyes, because since electromagnetic field can actually control our brain, because our brain interprets as light, we have been actually dumbed down. So this idea that we're advanced, let me explain something to you. The narrative that you have in your mind of people banging each other with sticks in caves came from school.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. In reality, our ancestors were actually so advanced that you understand, when Jesus came in, he came into a fallen state already. But when we talk about the time of Noah, see, most people are caught up on the time of Jesus. But if we go back into the time of Noah, when the angels came into earth and bred, we had what you would consider today superhumans, giants. We had people who had different skills, whether it was levitation, whether it was telekinesis. See, so that was in the DNA, and the DNA is formed from water. See, so what happens is when you corrupt the water, you actually corrupt the DNA. So when you drink water that's corrupted with the corrupted memory and it goes into your body, you actually corrupt your DNA and you bring your state of mind down. So
I love it.
That's why the fluoride, that's why the GMO, that's what the chemtrail, it all plays one big part into putting us in a fallen state that we're at and keeping us there. That's the thing. We came in a fallen state, but we're supposed to bring ourselves back up. And this form of system that we're in keeps us down the whole time.
Well,
and doesn't allow you to elevate.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well said, dude. To bring all that full circle, I appreciate it, Elvis. Thank you for the call, my man. And
one thing, I just want to say one thing to Weeping Willow.
Yes.
Weeping Willow, if you're listening, Veritas, Omnia, Vincula, Vincit. We know, brother. We know. Have a good one.
All right, Elvis. Thank you. Wow, that was kind of cool. I don't know what that meant, but
I just want to add to that.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Well said.
We are living in a foggy, polluted environment that is crushing our spirituality.
Yeah, it's forced onto us. I agree. Yeah, we're living in sludge. Joe says, thank you for the super chat, Joe. I love this show and the both of you. Thank you, Joe. Very kind. I appreciate that. Baby Yoda, thank you so much for the super chat. And Baby Yoda again with another one. He says, I'm not cheap. I'm broke and I'm helping. Well, that's okay. I mean, anything towards the beneficiary of this operation is, you don't even have to, my man.
Greatly appreciated, and we're all broke.
Yeah. Fred Kerr says, #1 fan. Thank you, Fred. I appreciate that. Greatly do. Let's take some more calls. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Thomas and Linda. Who is this? And they hung up. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Thomas and Linda. Who is this? Are you there? I'll give you a second. Are you there? 29928.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, how are you and who is this?
Oh, this is Helen. Anyway, I mentioned something to you when you were on Red Pill's show about looking at a portal on the cover of a book that has the Aiken symbol that runs all the way around the outside of the time reckoning calendar.
Yeah, I looked into that.
Okay, and do you see the Aiken symbol that goes all the way around?
Absolutely, yes, I do.
So it's like looking at a portal because it actually looks like the stocking for the Santa Claus is over the word anonymous, and it points to Q.
Yes, exactly. I went over that. I think we covered that on that same episode. Very, very interesting. Good find. Good find.
But I think Linda might find it interesting if she could pull up a copy of it and maybe do a little research.
Yeah, I'll send it to her. That's very interesting.
Send that to me, please, Thomas, because I didn't get a chance to see it.
I'll send it to you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, I'm going to continue moving on with the calls. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. KC says, love you guys. Best news. Thank you, KC. I appreciate it. Mute you. And let's go here. Hello and welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Thomas and Linda. Who is this and where are you from?
This is Eric from Huntsville, Alabama.
Eric?
Hi, Eric.
Yeah, that's right.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, long-time listener, a first-time caller. I love your show.
Awesome, man.
And you make my day a little bit better every day. I was just going to talk about Thoth. He's like a teacher to mankind, wanting to raise us up to a higher level of humanity. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of different names for him, like Linda mentioned earlier, Enoch, and then Hermes in the Greek tradition. And he just carries a lot of knowledge behind it. And with the Emerald tablets. That's some very esoteric stuff you're talking about there.
Yes.
But, it's hard to understand, but you got to read through it multiple times. And I think at the beginning of the tablets, I think there's a preface for it.
There
it
is.
Talks about if the light's within you, it'll respond it'll like activate your DNA or something.
Yeah, dude, that's well said, dude. I agree that, yes, there is a preface to it. There's something that if you are connected, it's the same thing. If you do have that, if you can open up your mind, or activate that pineal gland enough, you can stay on that frequency with source for a very, very long time. And I don't want to get into the whole holy rolliness of all of this, but you know what I mean by that.
Right. Now,
yeah, absolutely,
right.
Man.
Just one more thing.
Sure.
You was talking about manifestation being a form of magic. I believe that's probably the most truest form of magic that we all use every day, because I believe being in this world, it's a divine gift. And I feel like the power to manifest what you want is a divine gift. And that also goes back to Hermeticism. That's another name for Thoth, Hermes. And, have you seen the 7 Hermetic principles?
I have not, no. Have you, Linda?
You might want to check them out, man. I kind of look at them as like a key to manifestation. It's 7 cosmic laws. Just knowing them has changed my life a lot.
What is it called?
But with that, I'll leave you, man.
What is it called?
Hey, I love your show.
Eric, what is that called again?
The 7 Hermetic principles.
Okay.
Yeah,
Eric,
man.
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. You can go.
Okay. Yeah, man, just like I said, just knowing those things, man, have changed my life dramatically. I've been down and out, struggled with drug addiction for a long time. And it's like when I learned all that stuff, man, it didn't change overnight, but it changed pretty darn quick,
Sure, yeah, you got to get tuned into it.
There's just that. There's a magic to life and self-mastery, and, that's just helped me out a bunch.
Well said, Eric. I agree with everything you said. Do you have anything to add to that, Linda?
Well, I just think that in the language, a lot of it can be in the language, like the difference between magic and miracles, that sort of thing, miraculous and magical. What they do, I think we do have the ability to create our own reality, and they don't. And that's why they have to do all this stuff, because they don't have our abilities. That's why I'll never believe that we're part alien. We're some kind of...
no. Or ape.
Yeah, or ape.
And that goes along with the Gnostic teachings as well, saying that they have no imagination, or they don't have the creative spark, is I believe how they put it.
Yeah,
right.
It's something lacking in them that that's probably one of the reasons they haven't killed all of us, because they use us for various things that they don't have.
Well, I agree on that. Oh, real quick, request from Nikki Silver. She says, shout out to Dominic, and today is his birthday. He just turned 17. So happy birthday, Dominic. Very good. That's a good age too. Eric, real quick, man, I felt like I was right with on the terms of the Gnostics, right?
On the terms of what?
Of like the Gnostics' teachings and everything. It predated the Christianity, but wasn't it along the same lines as Christianity?
No, I mean, you have some differences, yeah, but like you said, the core teaching is about love. I mean, but and the whole archons, I feel like that word can be interswitched with demons in a way,
Yeah.
But you're just missing the core principle of Christianity, like of Jesus Christ.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of it's the same.
Yeah. That's what I thought, man. Eric, thanks for the good points, and I hope you have a good night, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Hey, thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, Bubba. Take care, man. Thank you. Again, guys, for everyone listening right now, if I mute you, don't unmute it. I will talk to you, because when you unmute it, then it messes up the conversation. I can't hear the caller, or I can't hear Linda. I'm not bitching. I'm just telling you, just don't do that. I can handle this on my end, okay? A big super chat coming at us from Tom Stells. Wow, love the show. Tom, thank you so much, my man. I appreciate that. Very kind. And we had one from Cynthia H. Thank you so much for the super chat, Cynthia. I appreciate it. So we got 2 more phone calls. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Thomas and Linda. What's going on?
Hi, Thomas and Linda. This is Donna from California.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
How are you? Linda, I've written to you before, emailed you about the black snakes in Florida and everything a long time ago. But anyway, I got to make this real quick because I have a friend coming over. Mm-hmm. You need to check out Mud Fossil University on YouTube. He goes into the study of fossils. Gold comes from fossilized blood.
Oh.
And that could very well be why they are so interested in gold.
And also, that could be why it benefits them in some way.
Yes, absolutely. And also, I just discovered him about 2 weeks ago. He has found an area in the Sahara Desert that resembles Plato's description of Atlantis. And you can actually see it on Google Earth. And Linda, and I'll try to send you the link of that specific video. I think you will find it very interesting. I never really thought about, rocks, and fossils that much. But he said actually the whole earth is a living being, and everything in our environment once lived. And I'm looking at the world in a whole new light. Very interesting. It is very interesting. His name is Roger. He's been studying fossils for about 50 years, he said, and he's actually had CT scans and DNA testing through various labs around the country to support his findings. But he said absolutely that giants did inhabit this earth, and there's evidence of them all over the place. Dragons did inhabit this earth, and they were quite immense. I mean, we would be like microscopic, bacteria to them. That's how big they were. And it's very fascinating. I never knew I would get into this stuff.
It's very interesting, though, for real. What was the name of that channel, real quick, before I let you go?
It's called Mud Fossil University.
Mud Fossil University.
Yes, and the commentator is Roger. I don't know his last name. But he's an older fellow now. He's been doing this for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And it really is amazing. I've been learning so much from him, and I think you would enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, good information. I appreciate the call, and I hope you have a great night.
Well, the same to you. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Donna. And that was really super interesting. Mm-hmm. I wrote down this guy's name, and I am so about these rocks. I just think they're very important. And it seems like everything that they did tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know how long ago, all this free energy and stuff like that revolves around rocks, because just quickly, there's some kind of underground system underneath the pyramids and underneath the Great Pyramid. And inside this system, they have lights. And the lights are run off the energy of the rocks, and they're still on. Yeah, they're still on. And look, I saw that on BBC. I mean, it was pretty mainstream knowledge, that these rocks, these lights are still on. I think it all has to do with the rocks. I do. And this emerald tablet, just describing how you can't destroy it. And it's, it's written on, but you cannot destroy it. You cannot change the writing. I think that's pretty incredible.
I mean, who knows? If you're seeing that on BBC, that's mainstream news. Mainstream television. That's crazy. It exists. So, what am I doing here with electricity all around me and wires? And the ugliest thing on this planet, I hate, are telephone poles and telephone wires. Cut that shit down. We don't even need it. I hate those things. They're so ugly. Real quick, guys, I just want to know how many people are watching right now and how many likes we have, because nothing has changed on my end.
I'm looking at the number watching. Oh, it just changed. It was 2222.
Oh, weird. Okay.
4 twos. It just changed to 2217.
There you go. And how many likes do we have? I show 950.
I see 1.3K.
Yeah, see. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
They're messing with us.
Yeah, they are. But let's see if we can get to these 3 phone calls, because we do have Red Pill comes on at 10 o'clock. So make sure you guys stick around for him. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Thomas and Linda. What's going on? Are you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, how are y'all doing?
We're good. What's your name?
I'm Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
I'm from Georgia, Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, okay. That's I go there all the time.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really cool place to go, especially if you want to look into like Freemasons and all that, and the history down here is crazy. Mm-hmm. The energy's weird too.
It's very weird.
Anyhow, yes, and I moved down here because I was interested in that, and I kind of regret it.
Yes, exactly, Rebecca. It's dark there. I didn't want to make you upset or offend you. It's dark.
No, you don't offend me at all. I actually have kind of a sense for that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And that's what interested me, and now I'm just like, I stay away from like Savannah, the downtown area.
Yes, it's dark. I don't like that place. I mean, it's cool, but it is dark. Yeah. But go ahead.
What's stay down there long?
No.
I'm sorry. Okay.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay. I want to get y'all's thoughts. Y'all were talking about Giza, and the first thing that comes to my mind is the infomercial with Mike Lindell on the Giza Dream Sheets. And I have made a correlation between him, and he's been to the Trump rallies. He's real good friends with Trump. So I just wanted to see your thoughts, if y'all have made that connection, and what you think about all that.
What's his name?
The Mike Lindell with the Giza Dream Sheets. He talks about Giza cotton, and he's shows.
Oh yeah, the pillow guy, My Pillow guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the MyPillow.com.
That guy. I watched an interview with him. I watched an interview with him on Anthony Cumia's show. Anthony Cumia, he's a comedian, but he's also he's very outspoken. Like, I love the guy a lot. And Mike, he is really good friends with Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell is awake, guys. He knows what's up. And with the Giza, exactly. He's on to stuff for sure. I like that guy. He's like an ex-crackhead, but he became like a billionaire, and he does talk a lot. So if you've watched the interview with him, you will get a little like, but he is definitely, he knows stuff for sure.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
I wonder if.
Go ahead.
I wonder if he highlights the Giza Dream Sheet. for a purpose with what y'all were talking about, because I'd never heard, that topic brought up before. But that may be something to kind of dig into and see if there's something with that.
I agree. Rebecca, I appreciate the call, and we'll talk to you again, okay? I got to get 2 more calls, and I want to let Linda speak on that. So I hope you have a great time. Be safe in Savannah, okay?
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
No, I just want to make sure I understood. Is she saying that the MyPillow guy has Giza dream sheets? Sells Giza dream sheets?
Sheets, like that you sleep on.
That you sleep on?
Yes,
yeah.
He does sell those, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know any of that. I was listening to you guys talk about it.
Yeah, no, he does. He sells all that kind of stuff. Yep. And he's look into him. There's some weird stuff with him, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Thomas and Linda. What's going on?
Hi, Thomas and Linda. This is Polly. How you doing?
Hi, Polly. What's going on?
Hey, listen, this is a great way to spend the Friday evening to open, to bring in Shabbat. But I wanted to talk about what you guys were talking about the pineal gland and everything. So here's my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does everybody have one, right? If it's so evil, like, why does righteous and good people have a pineal gland? And this is my take. My take is that what they're keeping from us is that we have access to our pineal gland to do good things. They do evil things, okay? And so I think that's the big secret, because why would we have one if we're not supposed to use it? And I think that...
real quick, Linda wanted to say something real quick.
I just wanted to mention something, and this is gross, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's not my fault it's gross, it's them.
That's fine. Yeah, sure.
But here is the way I see that, what you just said. Okay, this is gross, and I hate to have to say it, and I apologize in advance, okay? But when we're praying, we access the pineal gland through prayer and through thought,
exactly.
and through our minds, right? And through our spirits. They access the pineal gland through sodomy. And they access it from below. You see what I'm saying? And
yes.
They use it for all kinds of nefarious means, because they split the personality this way, and that's how they that's what they call the being illuminated, is this sodomy ritual that takes place when the child is 5 years old, and they open the pineal gland through the sodomy. So that there makes a big difference, Yes,
and I think the difference, Linda, is that it goes back to the beginning of the story of the father, of the God of the Hebrews, right? He has a family of 2 people. He has the people who are from Adam and the people who are from Cain, and they have different DNA. And in the garden, I mean, it's basically, let me tell you, I'm going to read one paragraph. It's not very long. It's from the book of Adam and Eve. It's chapter 8, verse 7. It says, "But when I heard of your transgression," and this is God speaking to Adam, "I deprived thee of that bright light. Yet of my mercy I did not turn you into darkness, but I made thee thy body of flesh, over which to spread this skin, in order that it may bear cold and heat." Now, when I read that, it tells me that the sons of Adam and Eve are not supposed to be terrestrial all the way. We're supposed to be like on a higher dimension. And then when I listen to Marina Jacobi from the Harmonic Reactor, she says we are ascending into the 5th dimension, and that makes sense to me. But the big deal, and when I call Thomas on the other shows, is that we need to know who we are. The family of the God that put the word together is the one that's going to let us back in, and that's the most important thing. So basically, this thing about the Christians and how they teach us that we're all just here in the flesh, and that we're not supposed to be celestial, we're not supposed to be spiritual. It's the big con. It's a big con. And like the guy said before, it's just to keep us, bearing down to the land. So sure. I really love the show. You guys are doing a great show.
Thank you.
And it is great to be beyond the headlines. Bye, guys.
There you go. Thank you so much for the call. Great information. I appreciate that. Last call real quick, because we have 3 minutes left. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Thomas and Linda. Who is this?
Hello, this is Joshua.
Hey, Joshua. Real quick, my man. We got 3 minutes. Quickly.
All right, real quick, just for Linda.
Go for it.
I was just kind of curious. Do you think that there's a way that if someone was to replicate the pyramid and possibly put that capstone on it, that it would would that something like that be possible?
I think this is just my opinion based on all of the stuff that I've been researching, but I think the actual position of where that pyramid is on the face of this planet is extremely important as to what is happening, that through that crystal, that it's either on a ley line or some kind of, I don't know, I guess you'd have to look and see, but the Great Pyramid, I think, is the big one of all of them. Like there's some kind of communication system or something. There's been a lot of talk about that. But I don't think you could reproduce it by just building it on another place.
True.
I think it has to do with energy and astronomy and astrology. A lot of people think astrology is demonic, but I'm not so sure. I think there might be some ancient art to the astronomy.
I agree. Real quick, super chat, Abraham Lincoln 2020. Hi, guys. Wow, great show. I listen every week. What Linda was saying about the ship under the Giza, Billy Meyer talked about travelers who were able to read your fears. That's crazy. Thank you so much, Abraham Lincoln 2020. And Quinte, it says, the wall means more than you know, frequency. Could be. Guys, that is the show. I do not want to go into anybody else's time. We got 2 minutes. So, Linda, if you want to plug what you want to plug, we can go ahead and do that, and we'll sign off.
Just McAllister TV on YouTube right now. I got a lot of things happening, though, and you stay tuned for that.
There you go. I'm the same way. Yeah, guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting. And please subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this right here, right now. I would really much appreciate it. Thanks to all the mods today. Thanks to everyone who donated. Thanks to everyone who left a like. And my special thanks to Linda, as always, for hopping aboard on a Valentine's Day. This was a lot of fun, as always. And I hope everyone who listened in enjoyed this as well. Again, every Friday and every Sunday. So every other Friday, every other Sunday, tune in. And we'll be talking about different subjects every time. And it's always a great time for each and every one of us. So I hope you all have a beautiful night. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Be snuggled up tonight while you watch Red Pill. Okay? I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you again, Linda. And
Valentine's, everybody.
Happy Valentine's to everybody. Have a great day, my friends. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.